Hi, my name is Bhavneet Bangu, and I've recently completed my MSc degree in criminology and criminal psychology. Okay, my name is Bhavneet Bangu, and I currently live in Nakuru, which is about 160 kilometers from Nairobi, our capital. And currently, I'm working as the head of security and safety at a private manufacturing company in Nakuru. They basically deal in home care products, uh, things like cooking oil, soap, and other, you know, sort of like they do also some other things like accessories like hand washing liquids and detergents and all that. So currently, I'm managing their security operations, and also I've mostly lived and studied in Kenya, apart from obviously doing the online university at Essex. Mainly my educational background has been in Kenya. Okay, actually, I think based on how the online education works, I felt like it's best for my in terms of integrating it with my work, because sometimes my work can get a bit challenging in terms of the hours. Although typically we do work from 8 to around 5, but sometimes I am required to work maybe till even around 8 or 9, or even maybe sometimes I usually get calls at night. So the online system is very flexible in the sense I can study at my own time. As long as I've got sort of like a timetable or a schedule, I can be able to study at my own time. And also there isn't that stress of I have to get to class. Usually it's very flexible in terms of even the meetings that we have with our tutors and all. So I think generally it's very fun because you get to do it at the comfort of your home. And I think that's the best part about it, that it's flexible and you can work and study at the same time. Whereas if I'd have to have done it maybe in the UK, I'd have to probably travel there, attend classes, so I wouldn't be able to work. So I think it's a good balance between work and learning as well. So actually, I did a bit of my research, and I came across different universities, and also I looked at in terms of the global rating as well for the University of Essex is very high compared to the other ones that I saw. So that's one of the things that sort of led me to do it at Essex. I didn't really know anyone who had done it there, but based on the reviews that people had given on their website, and also the fact that there was a lot of information that they offered for the course outline and how long it was going to take and small details like that, and I was happy with that, so I decided to go for the University of Essex. It's a lot of happiness at the same time. It's going to be a new challenge because I still want to continue studying. In fact, I also mentioned that if the University of Essex did provide a PhD for criminology, I would definitely have gone for it. But at the moment, I'm very happy that I managed to graduate, because it's been difficult balancing work and uni. But my employers have been very nice in terms of when I needed some time to study, they wouldn't have a problem with it. So I think based on that, I'm excited that I'm done with my masters, and it's something that everyone should be proud of, because it isn't easy to get past. But now looking forward to the other challenges in life now. Of course, it depends on how things are next year. I believe it's still very difficult to get into some parts of the world because of the pandemic. But I still haven't thought about that. But maybe I will maybe ask my fiancée if she would be willing to come with me, because she also was very excited. In fact, she had asked if she can also have a link to the graduation, but I told her because of the, we don't want many people on it. So I told her I'll share with her the recording, and also she's also very excited. So I think if I do end up coming next year, I'll probably come with her. I think in terms of memorable, I mean, I've had quite a few. There's some courses I didn't think I'd do very well, but I actually ended up doing okay. I wasn't looking forward to the research methods, but I mean, it's something that I got to understand, and my tutor was very understanding, and she sort of took me through everything, and I understood it. I think in terms of my most memorable would probably be my thesis, because it's something that I came up with. I came up with from scratch, of course, with help from my supervisor, and but it's something that I can actually call my research, that I did the thesis on my own. So I think that's a moment that is very memorable for me. So my thesis was actually on counterterrorism strategies in Kenya. I'm very much interested in terrorism and counterterrorism, so it's also something that I want my PhD to be focused on in the near future. So I had done sort of a realist evaluation between the current strategies that the Kenyan government has in place, and also other strategies of other countries, and how those can be employed in Kenya to sort of improve the system we currently have. So I've always dreamt of working for the UN or Interpol. It's one of the two. I've always been interested in working for either one of them. And one of course, their criteria is most of them, like, it's sort of like an added thing that you have to have a master's degree. So it's something that I'll also look forward to. But I mean, eventually I want to maybe go into a more research-based job, maybe also lecturing and all. So that's why I also want to go ahead and pursue my PhD as well. My life has changed, well, not that much, but in terms of I've become more responsible with time management. It's something that, when you're doing your undergraduate, you aren't working. It's something that you're very flexible, because I used to have evening classes, so I was pretty much free during the day. So I wasn't really good at allocating time for, there's work, there's time to spend with the family, and then there's, of course, studying. So it's also taught me to be very responsible. And also it's broadened my knowledge, not only in criminology, but general aspects of life, like research. And I've got also to interact with a lot of my peers online when we had the discussion forums and all. So I think it's generally made me a better person, a more responsible person, and someone who now can say that at least I know a bit more about criminology than I knew before, and also about research. So I think it has developed me to become a better researcher, and also in my job as well. Gladly, it hasn't affected it at all. Luckily, because everything is online, and I was actually very grateful, because my other friends based in Kenya who are maybe doing their undergraduate, or some who are actually doing their masters at universities here, and everything was at a standstill, apart from University of Essex, because everything was anyways online based. So there's nothing really much we had to adjust to, apart from the fact that there was a bit of delay, of course, in the graduation and the certificates, but that's because of things have to be sent over and all. But in terms of the studying bit, it didn't really affect us. So I'm actually quite happy that despite it, I was able to finish in the time that I thought I would in the first place. My advice would be, of course, it's always sort of scary or challenging to go into something like this, because you have to dedicate 2 or 3 years of your life to something, but it's definitely worth it. And I believe for people who are working, studying online is the way forward, because you're able to do a lot of things while also pursuing the degree, whether it's your undergrad or your master's. So my advice would be, don't think twice, take it up, study most probably at the University of Essex Online if you're doing your undergrad or master's, and just jump into it, and everything will be fine. And I think the only advice in terms of studying I'd give them is, if you can dedicate maybe an hour or an hour and a half every day somewhere to study or to do some research, that will help you, rather than maybe leaving it to a last minute assignment, or doing it a week prior. I always believe in planning yourself so that by the time you get to the end of the deadline, everything's sorted out. So I think time management is the most important thing.